Hi, this is Gary with MacMost Now. In today's episode, let me show you how to put your videos on your iPad or iPhone. So I get this question pretty often. How do I put videos that I've taken onto my iPad or iPhone? And the answer is that it's pretty much the same way that you would put photos or music on your iPad or iPhone using iTunes on your Mac. But there's one little tricky part and some people get stuck with it. So here we are in iTunes, and in iTunes we can switch and look at the videos that we have in our iTunes collection, just like we see there's music here. And it's important that you get the video first into iTunes before trying to put it on your iOS device. So we can switch in iTunes 11 to movies here and see that we don't really have anything. We actually have several different categories. We can look at like regular movies, we can look by genre, we can look at a list, we can look at home videos. Anything you're going to put on here that's like from a camcorder or something you've recorded is going to appear under home videos. To make things a little easier, let's go to View, Show Sidebar so we can see everything that we've got going on in iTunes in the left sidebar. Now that we have the left sidebar, we can click on Movies here and see under Home Videos that we don't have anything. So we want to get this video that we want to put onto our iPad in this case. I'm going to move it. It's called ducks.mov. I'm going to just drag and drop it. I can drop it in here since I have movies selected, or I can drop it into my library here. Either way, it's going to end up appearing here. I can see it now as part of my iTunes collection, and I can test it out by playing it. So the next step is to get it onto my iOS device. Now I can see I've connected my iPad. And you can do this through the wire connector, or you can do it wirelessly with iOS 6 now. Either way, you've got it connected, you can select it. And if I look at everything in here, I can actually see what movies are on the iPad. And you'd think I'd be able to drag and drop this into here and then put it on my iPad. And in fact, you can do that, but only if under Summary here you have selected to manually manage music and videos. If I select that, then I can simply go to Movies here and drag and drop directly into the iPad. But let's say you haven't done that. Instead, we're going to go to the iPad control screen here, and we have all our tabs at the top, and we're going to go over to Movies. And under Movies, I've checked Sync Movies, and it shows me all the movies in my iTunes library. And I can see there's the Ducks one. I'm going to check it off, and theoretically that's all I need. I now hit Apply, and it will now sync with my iPad and transfer everything I've checked off here to my iPad. So it's a quick way to get a whole bunch of videos there. Now in reality, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to hit Apply, and this Ducks video was taken with a camcorder that produced its own video format. It's just a version of QuickTime H.264, but not the version that the iPad uses. So this is what happens. I get this message here that Ducks was not copied to the iPad because it cannot be played on the iPad. This is very common if you take the video raw from a camcorder and try to put it into your iOS device using iTunes. See, the iPad and the iPhone have specific video chips in it, and in order to conserve battery power, they play very specific video formats and don't try to convert on the fly video formats. So you have to convert this video to something that the iPad in this case can play. Now if it's a video you took with your iPad or your iPhone or something you produced in iMovie, chances are you're not going to go through any other steps. It's just going to sync right over it and it'll work fine. So all I have to do here is go back into my library and go back to this movie here and select the video again. And now I go to File, and you can see there's a menu item called Create New Version. And I can create a new version for the iPod or iPhone, obviously a smaller screen, or for the iPad and Apple TV. And when I select that, it's going to start processing the video and creating a second version of it. And this version will be able to transfer to the iPad. And once that's done, I have two versions of the video here. And let's switch to List View here and then use Command J for view options, and under that I can actually take a look at various things like the file type right here, and I could see that they have different file types, and furthermore I can add a date modified and see right here that this is obviously the original video and this is the video I just did. So the MPEG-4 video here is the new one, and the one that perhaps the only one I want to keep. I can go in here and rename it And now when I go to my iPad here and I go to movies, I can say, no, I don't want to sync this one, but I want to sync this one, and apply, and this time the video will sync over to my iPad. So it's this conversion process that gets a lot of people. Now you can think of three different types of videos. The first is a video that's already compatible with an iPad or iPhone, and this will go right in iTunes and copy right over to your device. The second is one that will play on your Mac, because your Mac can play all sorts of different video codecs. So it plays fine on iTunes, but you have to do this conversion process in order to have a version that will then play on your iOS device. And the third type of video is one that won't even play in iTunes. And this means it's using some sort of codec that even your Mac can't play. You have to use a third-party conversion tool to get these into a state where they can play. And you might as well use them and convert them right to an iPad or iPhone compatible format. You can do this with something like, say, Handbrake or Miro, or even using QuickTime Player. So I hope you found this useful. You can see here I've got my Ducks video working on my iPad. Till next time, this is Gary with MacMost Now. If you found this video useful, there's one thing you can do for me in return. It won't cost you anything and it'll just take you a few seconds. If you're not already at MacMost.com, go there and then look for the video you just watched and go to that page. Underneath the video you'll see a bunch of different links that help you share the video with friends. Take a second to click the like button. This sends a signal out to the rest of the internet that the video is worth watching. Thanks.